Hello, everyone. I know many people, if there's that many people watching, probably thought that I forgot to make the next review for the next Assassin's Creed game in the series, like I forgot to continue that Borderlands gameplay that I was going through. But no, I didn't forget. Alas, I finally got through finishing the game. It took me over a year to do in total. I think it took me like 12 months. After the first game, it took me like 8 hours total over the course of 15 hours. Like 8 out of 15 hours I was playing, like between 2 days. And then the second game took me like maybe like 2 months maybe to beat because I was playing less frequently. But then I kind of just like forgot about this game. But finally beat it last night and it was good. It was like I was taking notes, slight notes on like what I like about the game, what I thought they did better than the previous one over the course of me playing the game. Although there's some aspects of the story that I forget that I don't really feel like going to revisit because what's it called? That'd be a little bit tedious. I don't know if that's that. I don't know if there's that many people watching, anyways. But yeah, I really like the game. Basically, um, well, you know how like if it since it's a sequel using the same character, like it's using Ezio again, and I really like his character, like he's developing like pretty coolly. But since it's a new game and then you have to start off the game obviously at no power level. That was one of the main things that stuck with me. I was streaming when I was playing that part. I can't say I'm a fan of how they did it. It's a little bit um inappropriate, I guess, but essentially you lose your power because someone attacks his house while he's not wearing his regular attire. So he has to leave in a hurry and then what's it called? He has to like go like fight back or something and he only has time to like get his one um what's it called? Hidden blade. He only has time to enough time to get one hidden blade. Also, try to ignore the sound that's in the background. I got some cooking. I'm gonna eat that right after I finish recording this. But he only had time to get his hidden blade, and then he didn't even have his proper clothes, so he just grabbed the first thing that he saw, and then that's how you get put back at square one after finishing Assassin's Creed 2 being overpowered. You start Brotherhood like that because there's an attack. I guess he didn't foresee, and he didn't have time to just get his regular stuff. And then mid attack, he gets injured, which means that his health goes down from here to here, and that's essentially how you lose your powers at the beginning. Oh, actually, that's not even the beginning of the game. You start off the game as Desmond in the real world, and that's some of the things I took notes on. Like, I think that the way Brotherhood handled the modern day parts was much better because um the modern day parts in Assassin's Creed 2 felt like they were interrupting the gameplay. And I remember there was one that I was stuck on for quite a while, so I couldn't continue the part that I actually wanted to do, which was the historical part. But for Brotherhood, it's basically just like a transitionary plot point, and you don't really have to like fight people with some unskilled fighter Desmond. How Desmond is, he's not skilled at fighting whatsoever. Excuse me. So it was much better that what's it called? The modern day parts are not interrupting, and it's just kind of it's like a playable cutscene essentially, except for the one at the end of the game, which was interesting, and you have to like do your little parkour thing. But I guess I could get to that later. Um, Another thing though, with the modern day part is that Sean is so annoying. Like this guy has the most unfunny jokes, and he's always trying to butt in. Like I can't believe someone that like actually passed the planning stage and that someone actually created this character because he was just annoying. Like there was nothing about him that I liked. But it was cool how you are in the mansion that Ezio's family had in Assassin's Creed 2. And in the modern day part, you go to that mansion to like find some clues about the apple and what to do with it. So I thought that was really cool, and it really helped make the modern day parts much better. And then they also go to the Colosseum later on, and then you can see the difference between how the Colosseum was in Ezio's time, because there's parts of the game that are there, and then you can see how it is in modern time, which was just like full of construction, but it made for a cool like parkour path that you had to traverse at the end of the game. Another thing is, gameplay wise, you can finally replay memories, which I think is cool. And I did the first 4 sequences full sync because I was like, okay, I might as well. It's gonna be worth it, because you can get Altair's clothing if you, no, that's if you do all the layers, which that was another good part. But yeah, I I can't remember exactly what it was, but I put in my notes that it incentivizes you to get full sync. Oh yeah, because they have a special requirement that you have to meet to get full sync. So for example, there was that one really annoying mission. I think that's one of the places where I gave up on full sync. Um, Actually no, it's not, but it was soon after when you have to do the Leo mission, where you have to get his like tank and move around with his tank, and it says don't take any damage, and that was difficult. But it gives you a goal to meet rather than just being arbitrary or I don't know. I just thought it was better than Assassin's Creed 2 how they handled it. But I think the one that I gave up on was because there was a glitch in my game, and it was in one of those like underground like dungeon type of things where you have to just like go to the end to get the treasure. It wasn't one of the Romulus layers though, or maybe it was. I don't know. But it was one that you had to beat within 8 minutes, and then there was a glitch that I had which didn't allow me to, and then I didn't feel like redoing it. So then from there on, I didn't try full syncing the rest of the game. Well, I did at some points, but it wasn't like as strongly as I did in the first 4 sequences. So that changed, but I still like the way they implemented it much better than they did in Assassin's Creed 2. And then what's it called? You can, another gameplay thing is that you can put your own markers on the map for places that you want to go, and I use that quite a bit if I wanted to like find a specific area, but it wasn't necessarily where a landmark was, like a bank or viewpoint. If it wasn't any of those, I just put on my own marker, and it really helps. Even though I guess I'd still say there's ways of improving it. Like it was a little, I guess it's an old game, but it was a little hard to place on the map. But it was still pretty good for, I guess, the time that the game was made. And also there's fast travel with the wells or the underground tunnels, which I liked. But I don't know, some of the places, some of the locations were quite inconvenient, or like there'd be areas of the map where there was no tunnel, and it was a place that I'd go frequently, so it felt like I had to like just backtrack a lot, which I don't really like doing. But it wasn't that bad overall. One downside I'd say though is that, well, I'd say it's a plus and a minus, because the story took place in Rome and it was just Rome. So I thought it was cool because you get to see Rome, but at the same time kind of got old after a while. Like, need more variety, because some of the areas of the map kind of look the same, especially when you're outside of the city, because you're not really doing much parkour, and a lot of those areas looked kind of bland and boring. But it wasn't a huge issue, but and it made sense story wise because all the things were happening in the same areas, and some of those places were used in the stories, like where you have to like blend in with some soldiers or something, and then take out some of the guards while they're not paying attention, stuff like that. But so it was a plus and a minus. I think there's ways of going around it. Like, I'd say space out the story throughout the whole map, whereas it didn't feel like that. And then also some areas of the map weren't even unlocked until the last bit of the game, and they were barely even used in the game. Like I didn't even go there. Then I finished the game, and I'm probably not going to go back to it, at least not for a couple of years. So that was, yeah. But back to the pros. The throwing knives are paired with the small dagger that or whatever small blade that you carry. So you can, if you hold down the button, you can just throw a throwing knife, and it will throw two at once if there's two guards nearby and you're targeting one of them. And sometimes it didn't work because it'd be like a little thing obstructing it, but for the most part, it was a good mechanic and much, much better than having to switch to throwing knives whenever you wanted to use them. But I don't think there was any like smoke bomb in this game unless I just missed it or I forgot about it. And then another plus though is that the firearm or like the little Leo invention is paired with the sword. And I like the variety of swords that you can get at the blacksmith. So like near the end of the game, I was kind of just wielding a heavy berserk style sword type of thing, whereas you gotta swing it and just swing and swing and swing, and it was like you get more power and it stuns the enemies more for the trade-off of being a slightly slower. But if you just timed your attacks properly, like the combat it's pretty smooth. It's pretty smooth. Like I remember in the first Assassin's Creed game, I had some trouble with the final boss, partially because I had some glitch where whenever I won, it just made me die and fall through the stage or fall through the map for no reason, and I had to beat him like 5 times before it actually worked. But there was not as much variety in that game. But this one, you get any weapons that you choose with the different stats, and you can see which one is gonna have which trade-off. If it's a heavy sword, if it's a regular sword, that type of thing, and that was really good. Then finally, like, horses in the city was pretty cool, because before you can have any horses in the city, it was only for traveling between the cities. But since you can have the horses in the city now, I mean, it didn't work the best, because sometimes people like, I didn't want to run over people that get like notorious and have to like rip off the posters to make my notoriety go down. But like it wasn't bad, but sometimes people just wouldn't get it out of the way, and the horse was hard to control. So I hope that's improved. If it's the same mechanic in Revelations, which I'm probably gonna start tonight, if I'm being honest. But yeah, that's another thing. And what's it called? Finally, I have a couple more notes. The layers of Romulus were pretty cool, and that's how you get Altair's gear, if I'm not mistaken. And it's like just like a dungeon that you have to go through, and sneaking, like pure Assassin's Creed. Like you gotta be stealthy, you gotta take out the guards who are watching, you gotta climb, you gotta parkour it and jump. Free running, those were really cool. I didn't do all of them though. There's only 3. I only did 2, I think, but I really liked it. I just wanted to get to Revelations. That's why I didn't do the last one, because I breezed through the last couple sequences in one night. I played like half the game at first, took the next like 2 sequences over the course of like 8 months, and then finally just breeze through the rest afterwards. Like, it's not a long game, but I just took way too long to do it. But yeah, that was cool. And then the treasure, and then guilds. You get to hire different types of guilds. Like, there's the thieves faction, the courtesans, and then I'm forgetting the last one. But there's 3 of them. And then you can, once you take over like the Borgia Towers, which is another good thing, that was really interesting. Actually, I'll talk about that for a bit. The Borgia Tower. So basically, the towers are the enemy's territory. You have to take out the commander of the tower, like sneaking around, or not sneak around, whichever one you want. But if you don't sneak around and you're fighting the henchmen for long enough, the commander's just gonna go retreat into the tower. Then you're gonna have to wait until the next day cycle for your next attempt. But then some of them, it was like the commander was hiding at the top of the tower, so he'd never retreat, and then it didn't really matter how long you were fighting the henchmen for. But I thought that was a really cool mechanic because you have to like renovate the city and like buy all the properties and then put money into them, invest into them. But to do that, you have to have the territory. So you have to take out the Borgia's territory. And I thought that was really cool. It was really fun. That was probably my favorite part of the game. Although sometimes it kind of got annoying when there was like, just so many of the guards and it seemed like they were just spawning. But nevertheless, it was good. It was good. That was really fun. That was really fun. So then once you do that, you can buy the properties and it's like run down like places, run down banks. You have to restore all the banks, all the art shops, all the blacksmiths, all the doctors. You have to restore all of that. And then you can there's some abandoned houses and you can pick which faction you're going to put there. And then with the factions, there will be like what's it called? They have special quests that go along with them. And then I got a little distracted. That's another reason why it took me a long time because I was doing a lot of those quests, but it was worth it. And on the topic, excuse me, you can save like citizens who are being harassed by guards and add them to the Brotherhood. That's like the whole point of the game, adding them to the Brotherhood, and they'll fight with you on your behalf. Oh, my food's done. And that was like even like some of the synchronization requirements was like you have to use one of your men to take out the target rather than you doing it yourself. So it's like you're calling the shots from the shadows after you just like lock on target to them. You just lock on target them and then boom, they'll do it for you as long as you just hold the right button. And there's like an arrow storm that you can send down, or you can just do like summon one of them or two of them. And then also you can send the assassins you like recruited on separate missions through like the pigeon house thingy, the pigeon place. And then you'll get the missions, you send them on missions, that's how they level up. Then you just put in whichever category of like skill bonuses that you want after they return from the mission, and then you get more money from that as well. So that was really cool. Then if they're stronger, they'll be more helpful when you call them for your battles as well. So I thought that was really cool. I already talked about the Leonardo machines. You can go talk to them on the benches to get different upgrades. I thought that was also nice. I accidentally pressed the I wanted to get the high jump, like when you're climbing to jump, but I pressed the wrong one. Then I had to wait so long. Well, not so long, but I had to wait until he appeared again, so that I could go back to him and get that glove, like the high jump glove, which it was annoying, but it was my own fault. Yeah. And then also, yeah, when I was talking about the renovating, you can also get like the Pantheon and different like the mausoleum, all those type of things. You can also buy those in the game as well. That was a lot. That was another thing that you can buy once you get the territory, and if you have enough money. So that was really cool. And then finally, the last thing about the game is it's more realistic because although it's like one of the most like it's a fantasy game, but it's more realistic in that the guards will check hiding spots now. So you can't just jump in a hiding spot and expect the guards to just go away. And like they'll check them even if you're not there. Like that's the difference. Before it was just they'll check it if they see you go in there, but sometimes you'll see some guards nearby and they'll be checking like the wells. They'll check the hay bushes. They'll check the what's it called, like the little things on top, the little curtain houses on top of the buildings. But yeah, it's more realistic in that. And then back to the story, a couple more things I want to say. The ending wasn't like the boss was far easier than the previous one. Like it was kind of weird in the last one. You have to fight the Pope, and I know that Pope was pretty corrupt in real life. Like Borgia, the whatever. I forgot his Pope name, but yeah, I know he was corrupt in real life. But the way they took him out in this story was kind of stupid. Like you had a whole fist fight with him in Assassin's Creed 2. But then this time, like, his son was like choking him and then shoved an apple in his face. Unless the apple was poisoned, but I didn't get that idea. So, yeah. I thought that was lame, but I guess they had to take him out so that you can fight Cesare for the final fight, which was pretty easy, honestly. Like it was a little. I had to heal a bunch the first attempt, but then once I got used to like the kicking thing, because again I hadn't played in a while. Once I got back used to the kicking mechanic, it was wraps for him on my second run, and I beat it much more quickly too. And yeah, if I had to rate it out of 10, I'd still say I like the second game more, cause like story wise, but I like how Ezio's like becoming more of a leader, and I'm hoping Revelations has a even better story. But ranking, I'd say it'd be like 7.5 out of 10. I am hearing from others that this is like the peak of the series though, and that it goes downhill. Well, not right away. Like it gets like fine going on from here, and then starts going down after Syndicate. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Anyways, if you watched until the end, consider giving like a like or something. And thanks for watching. Comment, well, your opinion, your favorite game in the series, your favorite character. And yeah, that's about it.